The form of the resolution is as follows. Declaring the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives to be vacant. This is the uniparty for the American people watching.
Gentlelady will suspend.
Are you not entertained? Let that moment sink in. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene getting booed on the House floor for introducing her motion to unseat Speaker Mike Johnson. It was an epic fail. Democrats rallied to save Johnson's speakership, and MTG's motion was killed by an overwhelming vote of 359 to 43, with 7 Democrats voting present. This has been a big week all around for American politics and the 2024 presidential election. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Nikki Haley is huddling with donors about a presidential run in 2028, but won't commit to endorsing Donald Trump this year. Yet. Haley still has supporters that Trump needs. She got 21% of the vote in Indiana's Republican primary on Tuesday, despite dropping out of the race months ago. In a social media post, Trump quashed rumors that he's considering Haley as his VP, but added that he, quote, wished her well. Exclamation point. Signed, DJT. Don't let the chumminess fool you. He's always signed nastygrams with stuff like that. He wrote best wishes on one he sent to me in 2015. And the New York Times reported this week that third-party candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said, can't believe, said doctors told him a parasitic worm got into his brain and ate part of it. Y'all, come on. Joining me now, Christina Greer. She is the Moynihan Public Scholars Fellow at the City College of New York and author of Black Ethnics, Race, Immigration, and the Pursuit of the American Dream. And David Jolly. He is a former Republican congressman from Florida and an MSNBC political analyst. Okay. Christina, let's just start with Democrats rescuing Speaker Mike Johnson. What do you think they get from Johnson in return?
Well, I mean, you know, the Democrats have been very clear. They actually want to pass legislation, Jonathan. They actually want to do their jobs. They're not necessarily there for the performance theater like so many Republicans. So in trying to work with Speaker Johnson, even though he is incredibly conservative, right-wing, antithetical to so many of the democratic principles, small d democratic principles that we should believe in as Americans, they're still trying to actually do some work. And so this idea that we're going to have these theatrics, all it does is turn off the American people. It turns off young people. It turns off people who actually want to see their tax dollars go to work, which is actually people being in Washington, D.C., thinking through legislation and some of these hard decisions. Marjorie Taylor Greene has been and continues to be a distraction. And we see in the Republican Party, she's literally a cancer that they cannot get rid of. They've given her far too much power over time, and now they have to deal with her.
You know, David, if Mike Johnson had to rely on Democrats to keep his job and also has to rely on them to successfully govern, doesn't that make the speakership Republican in name only?
Oh, sure. Jonathan, Hakeem Jeffries is the Speaker of the House right now. He really has been for the past, 18 months or so. If you look at the legislation that had to pass, from the debt ceiling increase to keeping the government open last year, aid to Ukraine, and now saving the actual office of the speakership. It's been a Hakeem Jeffries-led Democratic coalition that has allowed the House to govern and to function. And so, you use the term epic fail by Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, there is such glorious incompetence for the gentlelady from Georgia in this. And I really mean it. I mean, incompetence. If you consider what Matt Gaetz did, he succeeded. He was a tactician. You can like him or hate the guy, but he knew what he was doing. Marjorie Taylor Greene really doesn't know what she's doing. But I would suggest the writing is on the wall for Mike Johnson. He will not be Speaker in January, either because Democrats take the House, which they likely will do, and Hakeem Jeffries does become Speaker, or if Republicans hold the House. What we have seen is he does not have enough votes within his caucus to remain Speaker, and Hakeem Jeffries and Democrats will not bail him out in January. House Republicans will have a new leader in January if they return to the majority.
I'm just wondering if he'll still be House Speaker by October, given the way, given his raucous caucus. Let's talk about another woman in the Republican Party, and that is Nikki Haley. Fine. I think it's great that, she's looking to run in 2028 and is not looking to endorse Donald Trump yet. And heaven help her if she decides to be his running mate. But Christina, what do you make of all of this? Do you expect her to do what every other person who ran against Donald Trump for the nomination this year? Do you expect her to actually endorse him?
Yes, she will. This is what the Republicans are going to do, but she's holding out because it's a bargaining chip. The data is clear. There are still so many Republicans who do not want Donald Trump as the nominee. They're literally looking at their candidate sitting in a courtroom every day, looking at several court cases across several states. So, no, the Republican Party is less than enthusiastic in many ways, and many donors are less than enthusiastic. So, yes, will Nikki Haley come around? Absolutely, they always do. But this is a way for her to still be in conversation with donors and leaders in the Republican Party because there's not just 2028, but just in case there is a scenario where Donald Trump cannot take on the mantle of the Republican Party, she wants to still be viable. What the Republicans don't fully understand is that if Donald Trump gets reelected, he will sell this country for parts. And I don't know if we're guaranteed an election in 2028. He's been very clear that he does not want that to happen. And he wants to get in office and stay in office because he wants to also stay out of prison and in doing so.
David, we only have a minute left, but we cannot end this segment without talking about the dead worm in the brain of RFK Jr. One, what impact do you think this will have on his campaign? And two, should we take anything from the fact that Donald Trump went on video on his janky social media platform and attacked RFK Jr. for a long time?
Yeah, look, I still think RFK Jr. could take more from Republicans, and I think that's why Donald Trump's attacking him. He is a MAGA-crazy Republican. He's a vaccine denier. He denies science. He flip-flops on the issue of abortion, and even his own VP candidate can't keep up with where he is day to day on the most important issue going into November. And now he says he has a worm eating his brain. He is a perfect Republican today. And so, look, who knows how he takes in specific states that really matter to a Biden victory in November. But I would tell you, this guy speaks to the Aaron Rodgers Republican, which ultimately could take from the MAGA crowd. I suspect to see Joe Biden having a little bit of fun with RFK going into November.